Hello, and thank you for joining us today. And today we are going to talk about chapter 4, the first part of love and understanding. Before we go there, I just want you to contemplate where we're at as far as I am the word, because you have come through a significant transition. And sometimes if we don't ponder and really acknowledge, what we've been practicing, the cause and effect of these attunements that we have proclaimed, we could miss it because these are just very subtle changes in energy or not. Maybe you're like, what the heck is going on? It affects everybody so differently. And so, we started with chapter 1 with the word, which was all about the frequency of word, meeting God in action. So I'm just kind of tweaking your brain where you've come from. So remember when you first started marinating the fact that could I possibly be the divine in action? All the way to chapter 2, which is acclimating to wonder, which was practicing putting your mindset into the energy. I want to say the possibility of wonder, but at this point where we're at in the book, if we've been truly practicing it, we're not, we know there's no possibility. Now we know how to practice our wonderment. And then from there, we went into recognition, recognizing that we are the divine, that we are the love of the divine, right? And so now we're going to broaden the fact that we are the divine to love and understanding. And I find that, when I first read the title, love and understanding. Well, they're introducing to us that our understanding of love is not the love of the divine, that we bring to the table our programming of what love is. And y'all, sometimes there are lots of languages out there that, Marcella, you can tell us this. In the English language, we use the word love for I love chili. I love the cat. I love my husband. Do you see? But in Spanish, y'all have different words of love for each object or item or beloved, correct?
Uh, yes, we have different ways to say it too. The most common one means I want.
And
So
interesting.
it's interesting. Quiero means querer is to love, but querer is also to want.
Hmm.
So so you say I love you, te quiero. It's like I love you, but it has the implicit thing I want you. So it's interesting. But
Hmm.
yeah, we don't say that I love chili. I say yeah.
Yeah, right. And I always found, um, when I first was learning the language, I'm by no means bilingual, but I remember contemplating that and going, wow, that's different. But there's a certain reverence to that, to have a different meaning or a different word for that of your husband or your beloved or your child, as opposed to food or a TV program, right? But in the English language, we sum it all up. Okay, so remember, it's love and understanding is the title. So we're going to embark on a totally different understanding of love. Okay. And so we know that the divine is love. We know God is love. You can use those words interchangeably, correct? But we're certainly not putting this in the category of chili or a TV program, right? This is like of the highest resonance of energy, of frequencies that you could possibly be at, right? So just breathe into that a moment and understand. And if you can bring the energy element into it and realize that what we have done in our programming is define different types of love to certain degrees. And we've made love, we've connected it with attachments, with expectations. Uh, yeah. and there's nothing unconditional about that, right? Okay. So, starting on we're on chapter 4, we're on page 117. And so they talk about how right now there are all sorts of things activated in our field, or our auric field, because the guides have been given us various attunements. And so a lot of this residual or incorrect ways of looking, let's just say our programming about love, is slowly being diminished or changed. There's a lot of little subtle transitions and changes going on because a lot of your old programming is just being changed, just being transitioned, so that to make space for the understanding of true divine source love. Okay. So that's what's
Um,
going on. Go ahead,
well,
Priscilla.
I'm wondering, there's if it's that the I'm wondering if it's that unconditional love is meant to eliminate or replace our conditional love, or if it's for us to know there's a big distinction, and the conditional can be more equated to the Spanish version of want. I want you instead of
Yes,
I
that's
want this because
correct.
I like this and I want it for me, because there's always a reason and a condition,
Right.
whether as opposed to like the unconditional, right? When you really
Perfect.
see the essence of the thing or the person, and you recognize that essence, that's a completely different definition of love, right?
Correct. And remember the saying, see, and keep in mind, these are my words, okay? This is what I got out of this reading. Um, but I've often been told, in order for new to come in, I have to make space for it. So that's kind of what's happening here with these attunements that we're receiving. A lot of the debris, a lot of the old ways is slowly, with our permission, because we have free will here, it's diminishing. And so with it comes the new, the space to be filled up with the new understanding. Ah, this love with attachments, that's not really the love that I want to embark on. I want to go explore this divine love. I want to explore the resonance of love in word, right? So does that answer it?
Yeah,
Maybe?
I would say that there's still a time and a place for the conditional, and to enjoy the conditional.
And they address that.
Um, mhm,
Yeah,
mhm.
about romantic love and how and in fact, romantic love can well, you just know, right? The energy of it is just fantastic. And so they acknowledge that. Um,
I would say with romantic love, there's a time when all the sweet and the emotion, the strong, has
mhm,
to either uh, melt away or has to transcend and become something
right,
else. And that's when a relationship really is meant to be a real relationship or not, right? Like the infatuation of the beginning, if it doesn't take you to where really you can see each other's real essence and love each other unconditionally, then really the relationship will be in a completely different category. And I've seen that. It's amazing when you really, it all starts like that, the perfect guy and so sweet and then you really discover the essence, which is much greater than all the sweetness and the coolness that you can see on the outside. And interestingly, I think when you are able to see each other, you just bring your best self and you bring the best self in the other. It's just amazing. And the relationship takes a completely different, level.
Isn't it funny we're talking about this and it was Valentine's Day yesterday? And this is
yeah,
where we're at talking about love.
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, huh. Okay, so with that example that we've given you, use romantic love because that's a great example, and everything is experiential. So you could use that experience to expand on this. Right now, I'm on page 118 and 119.
Okay.
What we're learning right now is to maintain and stay in resonance with the Christ love that we're speaking of. For me, it really takes due diligence not to go into a judgment or not to go into the purview of the human situation. Right now, I am called to love unconditionally any beloved that comes in my space, right? But oh, I know something about this person from the past, and so that reputation or that experience with them comes in my mind, right? But if I am using my things, it's word I am word through the beloved in front of me, word I am word. Maybe it's word I am word for the thoughts going through my head about the past experiences with this beloved, word I am word. And what I'm doing is I'm calling on the resonance, the power, the divine high frequencies of word. And I'm transcending all of the muck that's going on in my head that could be obstructing the connection that I have for being the conduit to this beautiful frequency. Does that make sense?
Um, I like the Course in Miracles has calls that seeing with the eyes of Christ, and pretty much it's the same that we're learning here. And
Yes.
the way it tells you to make this to know when you are seeing the past or the future in a person, you
Mm-hmm.
are seeing the person, the split mind, the outside, the persona of that. And when to love, you cannot love the persona, you love the essence. And so when it talks about seeing with the eyes of Christ, you see through the persona because you know that the essence is it's the same in all of us. Whether a person is acting nice and the other one is not, but bottom line, the essence is the same, right? Just
Right.
some people are having their essence flow through and some people are blocking, so it calls us to recognize that essence in everybody regardless of what they have done or will or whatever, right? Because that
Right.
actually is how we can see our own.
Correct. Yeah, I totally agree with you. And I like how you use the word essence. And word, y- I would say focuses, well, it's very similar. It focuses on the frequency, focuses on the energy of love. Okay, so on page 119, just beloveds, get ready for another. This is a very short attunement. As you're receiving this attunement, take your attention to your heart and focus on the center of your heart and see it opening up and receptively just absorbing the beautiful attunement. Take us in there, Heather.
I am word through my availability to receive love. Word I am word through this intention. Word I am word.
There we go. And just breathe it in. And as this is occurring, know that, and I'm on page 119, the energy field that you are in is beginning to transform itself. And this has been a process that has begun with this text on one level and on other levels has been present and operational since you were incarnated in your first lifetime on this plane. Yeah, that's important. But when you picked up this book and started this work, yeah, you're really on an accelerated path. Yeah. So just trust in the knowing that this process is going on. All right. So now just move to page 120 and 121. And we're just going to embark on more of an understanding, if you will. So now we've opened ourselves up to an attunement, and now we're realizing, okay, there is going to be a difference in how I understand love, how I've been programming. So I love this particular quote, if you will, on page 120, and it's kind of in the middle. Love, in the middle of the first paragraph, love is a manifestation of the Creator that works with people, that works through vibration to call forth the action of God. And the action of God is the Word. Okay? So you cannot be without love when you are in the action of transforming the Word, the self, into the Creator's frequency. And that is what is happening here. So love, we say to you, is a manifestation of the Creator that can be worked with. But at the same time, you must believe that the self can be loved in fullness. Right? So this is essentially saying, when you are in resonance with this, when you are aligned with this, all of anything of humanity, I want to say debris, if you will, it's fallen aside now, and you've gotten, or you've alleviated entirely, and you've raised your vibration, your frequency up. So now you are thoroughly in love with who you are, not in a full, look at that Mary Roseman, she's looking pretty good these days. Not in an egoic kind of way, but in the way of realizing, wow, I am this divine beloved, and this is incredible. I really love me, and I'm pretty proud of all the work that I've done to get where I'm at, right? I mean, whatever it is you say to yourself, where you can feel the appreciation and the adoration and the love for yourself, because you have to be, and it sounds so vain and it sounds so, I don't want to say, but get over that part, because I really, truly want to be there as word in action, right? This part of loving myself is opening up the channels, if you will, to connect with the higher divine, to connect with the resonance or the energy of word. Okay. Now the guides never use this word, but I know y'all have heard of it before, that we are conduits, right? But you can't be a conduit to anything unless you're energetically aligned, right? So if I have any self-deprecation or any kind of outer judgment about anybody, I'm not free flowing. And therefore, the frequency or the energy of love cannot flow through me, right? So really, if you look, this is the lower part of 120. And then it goes on to 121. The God self, the aspect of the self that is God, is the lover within you. And to the extent that you decree that this love is exchanged and has to have a return invested in it, you do not really love. They're going with that unconditional love, right? And how it gets in the way. So now I'm still on 121. And I love this paragraph, and I can't say it any better. That's why I'm reading it. When you are a transmitter for the higher frequencies, which is what you are, your energy field becomes a tuning fork. And when you are attuned to the frequency of love, the energy of love works with you and through you to make itself known. If you're working with this still as a personality construct, which intends to love someone in a special way because you choose it, you may be in an aspect of love, but you are not in the experience of love as much as the illusion of love. And there is indeed a difference. Okay, does that make sense? And you know what? It's okay. Just take the reading and what they're saying, and then whatever my explanation is, and just marinate in it, because we're going to have a couple more attunements, I believe, or maybe one more. and with an assignment, and that's okay. Go play with this. All right. Go play with it. And we'll be back next week for the second part of this chapter. Go ahead, babe.
So I think you were almost to close, but I would like to read something that it's kind of has to do with this that we're discussing. It's on page 122, and it's the first paragraph actually. It says,
Okay.
but everyone here who has a belief in love still holds firm to the possibility that it will become what they intended it to be. It says, now we are not going to discount romance and the benefits of it as an enlightening experience into the frequency of love. But true love lasts beyond the fall into love. True love extends itself perfectly into the Christ frequency, because if you can understand this, then you will understand that the Christ frequency is a love energy made manifest through you. And when it is made manifest through you, it has an action, and that is to love.
And I will say to you, it's not just romantic love that can transcend with this. Marcella, I will say it's the love for a child. It's the love for a friend, you know, where it kicks up to that notch, that highest frequency of love in the divine with word, right? Because loves, my level of, I don't even want to say levels. Oh, I was about to play favoritism. I was. Here's what I was going to say, and this is delete, right? I was about to say, because it's so easy, y'all, to be with Heather and Marcella. It's because I can speak of this and I can flow with this, right? But if I'm really practicing this, I'm not playing the favoritisms and I'm seeing the love in anybody, whether I can feel the flow of being able to speak about word or my spirituality, right? So there's just a level of and I don't want to use the word work, but due diligence and of intentions. And so, you know what? I'm bringing it too much intensity into this. Let's just go with the attunements and know that the guides are going to come through. And
But
once all of
it's an
that,
interesting discussion, because I think that even though you can say you are practicing and you're in the frequency of love and you're seeing the divine in just everyone or most everyone, I don't think that means you're going to go hang out with them, because they still have they express to their personas, and their personas is still there. And if their personas don't resonate with their essence and my essence and the way I express my persona, I don't have to hang out or like them at all. And there's nothing wrong with that. I can still know that they are just as divine as I am in their essence, and I can see that, but that doesn't mean that I am going to physically interact and like whatever they're talking about or whatever they're doing. It's a completely different thing.
yeah, that's beautifully put. Thank you. Yeah. Yeah. And if you allow that, see, I'm kind of hard on myself sometimes. And so I can just allow me to be me and know that I have my preferences.
Mhm.
Yeah. I mean, she put it beautifully. I can still love and I can still see the divine, but the human part of me prefers to be with other like-minded beloveds where we are doing our same work, and we can talk about, oh my, this is what I did, and and someone else can help you get back on track, or they can help you laugh at yourself with you. Yeah. Um, but it's all very intentional, right? Okay. So we're going to be on page 123. And what they're bringing in here is an assignment for us to do. And I want you to practice this all week, okay? They suggest a corner, whatever opportunity you have. If you're going to be at an airport or a bus stop or a mall or anywhere where there's a crowd, this is just a great place to just sit down and people watch. and watch every beloved that comes by, and with an awareness, make an intention of loving every single beloved purely from the frequency of word. Okay. And so now on page 123, just keep in mind you're on your corner, and this is what you'll say. And I basically I photocopied a lot of this, or I put it on my phone and took a picture of it while I was there. Okay, so go ahead and just relax. And Heather's going to lead this meditation for us, this attunement. So open your place in your heart to receive this.
I am now intending to lift in my frequency where I can benefit from the higher perspective of each man and woman created in the image likeness of their creator. And I can see them as perfect beings manifested in perfection by the love of the creator.
You could turn on the news and you can do this. Well, really, really create a classroom everywhere you go daily this week. And just practice this, wherever you're at. Right? Okay. And they say this on page 124. It's in the middle of the first chapter. Okay. And we've been saying this ourselves, but they articulate it this way. The body and the personality construct are fake in comparison to the divine energy that they have incarnated as. And when you're witnessing these beloveds in their perfection, you are bypassing all judgment and lifting your vision as the Christ. Okay? All right. So now you're there on the corner and you're doing it and you're doing your best, and you've already done this one attunement and you've said one. And you know how the guides cover us step by step. So here's the next intention for us. Heather, take us to the next level.
I set this intention now. I am seeing all before in the image and likeness of God. I am seeing the Christ in all of my fellows. I am witnessing the divine perfection that is created in every man and woman that I encounter.
Okay. And so keep practicing this, and when you're there, you'll know it. Because this is the highest frequency that you can experience and that you can bring to the table and that you can offer to the beloveds around you, right? It's the ultimate, right? And this witnessing of the Creator in your fellows, in all the beloveds around, that must be achieved in order to move to the highest level of consciousness available to you now. And so that's why I kind of stop and I don't go on, because we need this time to really catch our breaths and to just practice, 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 practice. I feel complete in this section. Is there anything y'all want to add to it? No. So again, copy these on a copier or write down your attunements, take them with you and have fun. And yeah, a little housekeeping before we go. If you liked this video, would you please check or click on the like or follow? We'd really appreciate any of your support. And yes, go have fun with love and understanding. Thank you.